How's it going, everyone? This is Javita, and this is an overview for release 167. This is the greatly anticipated patch that adds in all the progression and objective elements and just a crap ton of other stuff as well. It's pretty amazing. I can't say how hard it is to make myself make this video because all I want to do is just jump in and just play this. But if you notice at the very beginning, I started off about right here. This is the new location that you will, when you log into the game, it'll put you right here. If you've never played this game, you actually start off down here and you'll come up here and it kind of takes you through a bit of a tutorial using the new objective system, which is sort of similar to the old objective system. But just as you can tell up in the top left corner, it's telling me about acquire a sling bow and hunt some critters and whatnot. When you start off, that'll be kind of your tutorial of, pick up your totem, pick a spot to warp to. Since we're looking at this right here, we can now see literally settlements. These are areas where either somebody has just made a really large build or maybe several people have come together. See, like right there is Pixelgate, and the more prominent settlements will be, as you can see, a different color. Anyway, let's move along. This is actually my second time to record this video because the first one I was just a rambling mess. So I kind of made a little bit of an outline to keep myself a little bit more on track here. First thing you'll probably notice if you're a previous player is that we've kind of been knocked back a few notches. We don't run quite as fast. This is the new default running speed. If you're a brand new player, you actually won't be able to run at all, unfortunately. If you are a previous player, you can hit escape and go to character. This is how you get to your profile as well as your skills right here. If you are a previous player, you're kind of grandfathered into these basic skills. If you're a new player, the tutorial will guide you through the processes of getting these skills. And let me tell you right now, if you are a new player and you're going through this tutorial, hold off on spending a skill point until the objective is actually telling you to do so. Otherwise, it causes some complications. I ran into that on the test servers, so just something to keep in mind. Another thing we're grandfathered into is under exploration. We have the increased inventory. So if you're a new player, you actually will start off with a smaller than standard inventory, at least what has been standard in the past. It'll be kind of, I think, basically just these first two rows, and then with those skills you can essentially double your inventory. So this increases character customization. I mean, before there was no character customization. You could pick your model, but that was about it. Everybody acted the same. Here, now you can actually customize, I want to specialize in crafting, or I want to specialize in mining or whatnot. First thing up here we got after the core skills are attributes. These are things like vitality, endurance. These will increase, like vitality of course is health. There's one for stamina. There's this power bonus which increases damage to both blocks and critters. There's stuff that makes you swing faster, run faster, throw better. It's pretty crazy. Then there's one here kind of tacked on the end, is like, just increases all attributes by 2. If you're curious what your attributes are, you can go to core attributes and it'll give you this wonderful summary down here. Shows, I have 0 stamina, 600 and just under 600 health. And all of this down here, there's actually now health regeneration, stamina regeneration, all unlocked through the skills, as well as mastery, resistances. It's just crazy amount of information here. I'm so thankful that this information is readily available and that we don't have to, we have this skill and try to manually tally it up ourselves, which would be kind of annoying. But back to skills. there's the attributes, and then there's also mastery. So each, here's tool, there's also weapon, combat masteries here. So there's lance. I do not believe the lance is implemented yet, but I'm not for sure. There's not actually the official patch notes up at this time. They just kind of said that everything in testing has been kind of shoved into live. So I don't think there's a lance yet, but of course there's the sling bow, there's bombs, same as the lance. I don't know 100% sure if these are even in the game yet, but the skills are there. And then tool mastery, got grapple, hammer, shovel, axe, chisel. I was actually doing a test earlier, and my iron sling bow was doing more damage than my gem sling bow. So if you have absolutely no mastery with a tool and you're using a really fancy tool, you're really pretty much wasting it as far as I can tell. However, if you do have the proper masteries, then they of course perform far better than the other alternatives. And then there's also just flat out abilities, right there, abilities. So there's now high jump, there's high jump 1 and 2, and then there's also, well, they're calling it air jump. It's essentially a double jump. Once you're in the air, you'll be able to jump again. So that will increase maneuverability quite nicely. There's also an edge climb, that annoying time where you're trying to grapple out of somewhere and I can't quite get up there. You'll be able to apparently just kind of climb up on that edge, or I think it'll just kind of bump you up there automatically as long as you're in the air. If you're just running up, it doesn't work. You have to at least, kind of jump. So in theory with that alone, I haven't tested it out, but in theory with that, you would be able to climb up a 2-block tall cliff or ledge or whatnot, where currently you can only jump up 1 block. And of course, if you have the high jump or double jump, that would be increased even more. So pretty cool stuff. I think that more or less covers it for skills. The other major thing they've added are the objectives. So basically right here you can set and track things. Right now it looks like I only have hunting creatures available. Here's this available tab. This is what's active. But they've added essentially, they're calling them feats, but these are objectives you do not have to track. They're just tracked in the background. And there's also dailies, weeklies, and then a tab for completed. So this is supposed to be, my understanding, the main source of experiences, completing these objectives. And as you do more, you'll unlock more. Right now I can only track 2 objectives, but as time goes on and I level up, I should be able to track up to 5 at any given time. And should be pretty cool. And the other major thing that they've improved is just kind of the UI in general. As you probably noticed, the smart stacks look pretty drastically different, but they're basically just a different symbol. The one thing I'm not crazy about is you can no longer see the item count when you mouse over. So it's a smart stack of refined stone, but how much is in there? But some of the other UI improvements are very much welcome. Now here's the regular input, but the output is now down here below. And this is a little bit more pertinent on, say, a workbench. You can put your ingredients in here, your input, but when something is done crafting, it's just right down here. Prior to this update, it had its own tab, and so you'd have to switch over to the tab and then empty it out and then go back to the contents. And so now it's just all right here. It's quite nice. And they've also made some improvements to the spark core. Oh good, it's actually showing now. Previously, when you just moused over it, it showed I had 0 spark. It's at least now showing me 39,000, which actually is 189,000 because I put in some medium coal, and it actually shows generating, I had 4 stacks of medium coal in here, compact medium coal, excuse me, and it was saying I was generating 66 point something spark per second. So get a lot more information of what's actually going on with your spark core, and hopefully, I originally had 39,000 in here and it showed 0, and then I put in some coal, so maybe just after the update that's not quite, something hasn't quite updated yet. However, when I come over here to my crafting machine, it's showing me the correct amount of spark. We also have a thing for power over here, which I haven't gotten that far. I don't know anything about that, if it's even in the game yet or what. Okay, something I almost forgot to talk about is they actually added a model to beacons. So these are the new beacon models. They're kind of like a bonfire. As they run out of fuel, they will start to visually burn down, and the flame will look weaker until it finally does extinguish, and at which point all of your stuff will be unprotected. So not a good thing. Thankfully, the fuel is pretty easy. If you have a beacon that was placed prior to this update, it will default with this 25 weeks, 5 days, and some odd time. If you place a new beacon, it'll need to be fueled almost immediately, but luckily you can just go over here to this fuel tab, and it's just literally leaves and trunks. And so easy, super easy to get, and the leaves and trunks give quite a bit of fuel. But over here, one of the coolest things is that there's now a coin box. And what this is for is when other players pass through your beacon, it generates what the devs are calling as footfall. And it'll just generate coins. It's not taking coins away from the visiting player, it's just generating coins based off of foot traffic. So it really pays to either, if you're running like a portal hub and you got people running through your beacons all the time because they're using your portals, you can now actually make money off of doing that instead of having to beg for donations and whatnot for portal fuel, and or if you are donating your plots to be used as roads for towns, there's some pretty good earning potential here. I'll have to test out and see how much coins per player. The minimum number of coins I've seen in here is 30, so I'm thinking like every time somebody walks through your beacon, it might be upwards of 30 coins. You can change the name of it, rename beacon. You can add it to your beacon list, which I'm assuming just adds the, I don't know what that does. I think there actually is world's beacons. Yeah, okay, there we go. So you can add your beacons to this beacon list, and it'll actually show you how their fuel is doing. And so you can see, looks like they still need to work that out a little bit. The coordinates are kind of overlapping the location or the text there. So that's pretty cool. But then there's also settlement details if there's other players around you. Like here, Kippy is actually the mayor of this settlement, and that's mostly because she just has more plots placed than I do. I think that's actually what this 62 is she has 62 plots placed and I only have 29 plots placed here. Another thing they've added is there's an additional permission here, and it basically allows players to warp into the beacon or to prevent them from warping into the beacon. This will also allow players to log out inside of your beacon and then return inside of your beacon, when normally they would be moved to a neutral location. So that's pretty cool. That pretty much, the other major thing about the user interface is they've drastically improved portals. You no longer need a PhD to place a portal right. For one thing, when you're just looking at the portal, it'll tell you the remaining time for the portal to stay open. You kind of have a bar to gauge how much fuel is in the portal, but it'll literally tell you that this portal is going to run for 1 week, 6 days, 13 hours, 58 minutes, and 1 second. So that's pretty cool. But about not needing a PhD, there's literally a button here that you can switch the portal around. So this is normally the back side of my portal, and reverse it back around. I'm not sure why it's shooting my grapple. That's a little bit annoying. So this is how it's normally set up. I kind of added this little walkway here and is like, oh, well, I guess I need to make a spot to actually walk in, because this is more the intended way to use it. But that is just so nice that, oh, whoops, I placed it wrong. You just press a button and it's fixed. So pretty cool stuff. I think that will wrap this video up pretty decently for now. There's, like I said, the official patch notes aren't really out, so I was, I would like to be a little bit more thorough than this, but I'm just kind of going off of what I already knew from testing. There does seem to be a small issue on testing. That SP bar down at the bottom was stamina, but it's currently still a breath bar. And I believe if I go into my character status, it'll actually show me that, yeah, I have 0 stamina at the moment. So I'll have to take care of that. They're probably still working on all the UI elements for stamina and breath and whatnot, because on the testing server you had no indication of how drowned you actually were. You just had to kind of guess. Another issue that seems to be going on is that all animals, they just kind of take it. They don't fight back or anything. I experienced this on testing, and they are implementing a whole new threat system, which sounds pretty cool, because it's not just, oh, you're doing more damage so that critter goes to you. It's like if you're hostile to a lot of critters in the general area and you build up a lot of threat, you'll actually draw animals from the surrounding area, and they'll just automatically attack you where otherwise they might not have. But I'm assuming they're still working on that system, and that's why creature aggression across the board is not working. Nice. Completed my objective. It played a nice little sound. Another thing they've added is all the critters on all the planets, they have greater variation in just their general appearance, and the new Roadrunners actually look pretty cool, and they even have a new sound effect to them where they're kind of like, well, I guess a sound effect and animation, because they'll peck the ground, and I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's actually pretty cool. It's a nice little detail. But anyway, I think I'm back to rambling, so this was Javita. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like it, subscribe if you want to see more like it, and if there's anything you didn't like about this video, please let me know down in the comments. Until next time, peace.